For those that believe the Irish's undefeated start is just luck, think again. Not only does Notre Dame boast one of the best defensive lines in the country, but their linebacking crew is full of experienced veterans hoping to lead the charge toward the college football playoff. With distinctive power and a knack for the clutch, Mendoza has been swinging towards success. All good things must come to an end, and on Saturday afternoon, the Seminoles' school record 8-game ACC win streak came to a resounding conclusion. I'm here with junior third baseman Drew Mendoza, who hit the go-ahead 3-run home run in the bottom of the 8th inning. Drew, you went 2 for 3 tonight. What did you see at the plate? That wraps up the 2019 ACC tournament. Led by freshman superstar Zion Williamson, Duke takes the title. Hoop season is finally back, touting a roster full of talented youngsters. Florida State will tip off play tonight versus George Washington at the Tucker Center. Despite this disappointing debacle, Dorsett displayed her unique ability to overcome this setback by doing what she does best, moving forward. Sophomore righty Stephen Casey making his first career start today for FIU. I talked to head coach Mervel Melendez, and he told me that Casey is just looking to show some positive signs of development while throwing a few pitches out there on the mound. Long term, they're looking for him to potentially become a weekend starter while getting some solid pitches out there in the bullpen. Did you know several live alligators assumed the role of Florida's official mascot prior to 1970? Ever since then, Albert here has proudly represented the school's athletic department. The 2018 college football season is officially underway as the Willie Taggart era begins in Tallahassee. Guys, 19 out of UCF's first 20 games have been at home this season. That one road game, a 12-9 victory over Florida. So I asked Knights head coach Greg Lovelady how that win helped prepare his teams for tonight's game. And he told me it was a good learning experience and gave them confidence they could beat a quality opponent in a regional type environment. With the 9th toughest strength of schedule thus far, UCF is battle-tested and ready for this ball game. Watching the Florida State men's basketball team, one would expect to witness elite student athletes competing with intensity. Yet there's one player that towers above the rest. Jean-Marc Chris Kumaji, a long name with an even larger frame.
He's been a guy that's always been willing to put the time in and to try to add to his talent and ability to not just be a tall guy, to be a tall guy that can really play basketball.
You know, he has a great touch for a guy his size. His hook shot is great. His turnaround jump shot is great. You know, he can score the ball from anywhere, you know, in that paint.
Knowles with a 9-point advantage down the court.
Standing at 7'4", Kumaji is the tallest student athlete in school history. As the Seminoles starting center, he plays a vital role with his innate ability to grab rebounds and block shots with authority.
It allows you to be able to penetrate and open up for a pass. Kumaji with another block.
He's a very important part of our team, and he's given us whatever we need. Sometimes it's rebounds, sometimes it's block shots, sometimes it's just energy and communication with his teammates.
During his time in Tallahassee, the senior has been part of a consistent 4-year rise, lifting the program, quite literally, to new heights.
No matter what's going on, you know, my role is just to, like, you know, be a leader to, you know, to this team, help the young guys, talk to them and stuff like that.
Despite his current success, things haven't always been easy for Kumaji. Born and raised in N'Djamena, Chad, the big man didn't pick up a basketball until the age of 15.
Growing up in like a third world country, you don't get all the things that kids get here. Like, you know, we grew up like differently, and you just learn to like appreciate and be more grateful for everything that you have.
He told me it was rough. You know, he had a lot going on. He went from house to house, from his uncle to his grandmother, his mom, his dad, so he was always traveling, you know, going up and down that country.
It wasn't until Kumaji moved to the United States in 2013 and enrolled in Montverde Academy that he began to develop his game.
So coming out of there kind of helped elevate his development and give him a base to know how hard he was going to have to work when he got to college.
Throughout his freshman season, the big man displayed glimpses of his potential despite weighing only 220 pounds. For this reason, Kumaji placed a relentless focus on physical improvement. Now the Seminoles starting center stands at a solid 270 pounds, and the results have spoken for themselves.
Chris has been a guy that's hungry his whole career to improve and to become the best basketball player he can be.
All from what he's been through, just, from his childhood all the way up to now, just, formed him to what, having that dog type, mentality, just going to the games and giving it all he's got.
As the Garnet and Gold head into the season stretch run, Koumadje looks to provide a powerful spark for his team.
Chris has never been the guy that's kind of been in a lead role until now, and when he really plays with great passion and enthusiasm and energy, it really inspires our guys.
Hoping for another deep tourney run in March, the Noles will need the experienced veteran to take advantage of his tremendous size and stretch.
The goal is definitely winning the national championship.
When it's all said and done, Koumadje's legacy will not be defined by Florida State's final result, but instead on the gigantic impact he's already made on the program. Touting a relentless work ethic and unique athleticism, the sky is truly the limit for this big man. I'm Blake DeVine for The Leonard Hamilton Show. Over the years, many legends have sported the Garnet and Gold, but there's something special about playing running back. Whether it's their blazing speed, electrifying athleticism, or pure strength, this position has always been a source of pride for Florida State football.
There's a lot of great running backs that come through Florida State year in and year out. You hear a lot of teams talk about running back U, and I think if you're going to say that, then Florida State have to be in that conversation.
Nowadays, that role is assumed by Jaquez Patrick, a senior from Orlando.
I mean, when you got a guy that's 6'3", 235 pounds, 230 pounds, who can run pretty fast, and he can also run you over, that's a pretty scary sight.
He's not just a big back for the power runs. He can make those, the little holes become, great big gains, and,
Growing up as a middle child in a family of 5, Patrick was introduced to football at an early age.
I got 4 brothers, so we always played football in the backyard, and from there, I just found my love for the game. And
touting a rocket arm and a massive frame, the middle schooler quickly developed into a quarterback prodigy before being introduced to another rising star.
He was just a huge kid, and we just formed a relationship, just being 2 quarterbacks in the same area at the same time.
During Patrick's first high school start, his coach Jim Buckridge made the surprising decision to switch his quarterback over to running back.
And the first play I went to running back, I called a sweep, and I broke it for a touchdown. And he never put me back at quarterback.
From that point onward, Patrick took off in stride, breaking numerous records at Timber Creek while earning Gatorade Player of the Year honors as a senior before committing to FSU.
Let's go!
Upon arrival in Tallahassee, the 5-star recruit was immediately taken under the wing of Dalvin Cook.
Because he was dominant. He was the best back in college football for 2 years, and it was a perfect situation for me. I learned so much from him. I was able to develop. Sometimes when he didn't play and I had the opportunity to step in for him, and I just learned so much from him. Not just from football, just from life. Because Dalvin was a great person.
And just knowing that Jaquez is going to have Dalvin there to help him, teach him the ways, teach him what a good work ethic looks like, teach him how to read certain things, how to be a college running back. I think that was huge for Jaquez in his development.
After Cook's departure to the NFL, Patrick adopted a similar approach, mentoring another rising Seminole star.
It was the same way when I came in with Dalvin. I took Cam in under my wing. Anything you need, I got you. It was never about, oh, man, who's going we battling for the same position, we battling for carries. It was never about that, and it's still not about that.
Him doing that for me and him taking me in as a brother figure, that was just big for me. Knowing that you got somebody who been here, who know the ropes, who know what to do in your corner.
Off to a hot start in 2017, misfortune struck in late October against Louisville when Patrick suffered a knee injury that was presumed to be season-ending.
That was a devastating moment. You never want to, lose a season, due to an injury, or you never want to wish that on anybody, man.
Refusing to give up, Patrick demonstrated a relentless work ethic while rehabbing his injury.
He got a lot of fight in him and a lot of heart in him to do his rehab how he's supposed to.
To everyone's surprise, the bruising back returned to the field just 2 games later and went on to finish the season. This year, the experienced veteran hopes to lead by example while providing a vocal role in the locker room.
He's a guy that has goals for himself, and he works really hard to try to achieve those goals. And I know since I've been here, he's been great with leading our guys and trying to get those guys to buy into the things that we want to do.
When you see someone who works as hard as he does, and they don't talk a lot, when they do talk, guys listen.
In December, Patrick is set to become the first member of his immediate family to graduate from college.
I want to be that standard that people look at, and that's big for me, and it's big for my family.
Looking ahead, if he continues to inspire both on and off the field, there's nobody more poised to carry Florida State back into the spotlight. I'm Blake DeVine for Inside Seminole Football. This one's for all the peaches. Georgia State football championships tonight with 2 area teams looking to take home a trophy. Hello everyone, I'm Blake DeVine, and joining me today are some members of the 1969-70 Florida State men's basketball team. For some athletes, it's difficult to find a good balance between putting in the work required to achieve their goals and having fun while doing it. But for one women's cross-country runner, it just comes easy. Now and forever. Quarterback, arguably the most important position in football and Florida State's most unstable since Jameis Winston departed in 2014. Since then, Everett Golson, Sean McGuire, DeAndre Francois, and James Blackman have all had a crack at being the Seminole signal caller. Yet coming into this spring, FSU only had one scholarship guy in Blackman, currently eligible to play in 2019. That is until today. Former Wisconsin quarterback Alex Hornibrook announcing on Instagram that he plans on using his grad transfer season suiting up in the garnet and gold. This comes just a week after Hornibrook announced he was leaving the Badgers program and just 2 days after he was seen visiting the Seminoles practice. So what exactly does he bring to the table? Well, plenty of experience, that's for sure. He started 32 games for Wisconsin and won 26 of them, the highest winning percentage for a Badgers quarterback ever. He also led his squad to back-to-back Big Ten championships and was named the 2017 Orange Bowl MVP after Wisconsin's victory over Miami. But for all that good, Hornibrook's 2018, it wasn't all that great. The redshirt junior only started 9 games, missing the others due to injury, and he had a record of 6-3 in those games he started. What's up, sports fans? I'm Blake DeVine, here to give you the rundown on the past week in Florida State athletics with your Seminole update. Following a successful non-conference slate, the men's basketball team tipped off ACC play on the road against number 4 Virginia. Struggling to find open looks and create scoring opportunities, Florida State's offense sputtered early while falling behind 42-23 at the half. In the second, the Cavaliers' suffocating defense forced 15 turnovers en route to building a 29-point lead. The Noles battled back, but it wasn't enough in the end, as the Seminoles were held to a season low in scoring and field goal percentage as Virginia claimed a 65-52 victory. Fresh off their first national championship in program history, the FSU softball team recently announced its 55-game schedule for the 2019 season. The Noles will officially begin play on February 8th with the inaugural Joanne Graff Classic, as UNC Wilmington, UNC Greensboro, and Iowa State come to Tallahassee for a 3-day tournament. After concluding 2018 with the #1 ranked out-of-conference strength of schedule, Florida State will test themselves once again in 2019 while facing 8 opponents receiving votes in the final NFCA poll. Looking to replicate last year's success, the Seminoles roster is loaded with an abundance of experienced veterans and talented youngsters hoping to repeat as champions. Riding high on a 9-game win streak, the women's basketball team hit the road for a matchup against North Carolina. Led by a strong performance from junior guard Nasha Woolfolk, FSU jumped out to an early lead in the first half and carried a 40-31 advantage into the locker room. Unable to convert on quality looks and allowing the Tar Heels to take control, the Noles found themselves trailing by as many as 6 points in the final frame. Nevertheless, junior guard Nikki Ikemo stepped up when it mattered most with a series of much-needed scores while allowing Florida State to escape with a thrilling 64-63 victory. With the win, the Seminoles improved to 14-1 on the season and will face off with Clemson during its ACC home opener on Sunday. That wraps up another exciting week in Florida State athletics. I'm Blake DeVine, and that was your Seminole Update.